Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me as I break down the good and the bad of Hulu's new original movie, No Exit. Streaming on the service right now. Is starring Havana Lou Rose, Danny Ramirez. In No Exit, Havana Lou Rose plays the lead role, Darby, a drug addict that's in her 7th stint in rehab. She gets a call in the middle of a meeting that she was having, an AA meeting, where her mother is now in the hospital in almost a whole nother state. They won't let her leave because she stays in the rehab center or she goes to jail. But she cares too much and she breaks out of the rehab center, goes to go see her mother. But unfortunately, a storm is brewing, a big storm that is coming, and she has to stop at a community center with other stowaways. As she's trying to figure out what's going on and get service because of the winter storm that's coming through, she travels around in the parking lot and finds out, as you can see in the trailer, that there's a kid that's kidnapped, tied up in a truck. She's trying to figure out who has kidnapped this kid and how she's going to save her from this predicament. Let's start with the good. I really enjoyed the performance by Havana Lou Rose, who plays drug addict Darby. She plays the role with a lot of gusto, a lot of heart, and a lot of nuance. This is a very outstanding performance by this actress. As the movie goes on, you find more about Darby. You can see this character is a tortured soul. She's not just a shitty person, drug addict who family hates her. She's gone through a lot of different things that has driven her to have a negative aspect on life. But this chance to save this child has given her something positive that she wants to do. And Havana brings this character to life. Usually in these thrillers, the main lead female protagonist usually is this helpless, kind of ditzy character who's put in this predicament and stumbles her way to sometimes victory, sometimes not. But this character, Darby, is very resourceful, and that might be coming from her past, her dark past, dealing with drugs and trying to get out of certain situations. And as the intensity of the movie progressed, at her resourcefulness kept coming out, it made me really like this character, as it felt like a breath of fresh air to have a smart protagonist, especially a female protagonist, in these movies. And Havana killed it with the emotion, the body language, the things that she did in her action scenes. She made a very believable character that I could root for. And even though this movie is anchored by her performance, you're here to watch her. And her performance was supported by really good supporting characters. It was solid acting from almost everybody in the cast except maybe one, but I'll talk about him later. And Danny Ramirez, my boy from Falcon and Winter Soldier, came in here and he played a very different character that I've seen him before. And he was very charming, very sly, and he was somebody I enjoyed watching throughout the movie as it progressed. And even the State Farm guy, he played a former Marine that was very charming as well, and very easy to root for. The mystery wasn't super tantalating, but it was done really well because these actors did a great job of making you guess which one of you guys are the kidnapper or potential killer. Because as she figured out, oh crap, this girl's kidnapped, and now she's trying to figure out which one of these stowaways that's with her in this community center did it, she sits with them and tries to ask some different questions to figure out what they know and who's the sneakiest. I think that they all did a great job of kind of trying to divert your attention away and entertain you at the same time. You couple that with some really good cinematography. I was surprised with how small this movie was, and it's a streaming movie, that it was a kind of a beautiful movie. And the director, Damian Power, did a good job of doing some very interesting shots here and there, capturing the very brutal violence that's in this movie very well and very shocking at times. Some of them I did not expect. A couple of sequences with a nail gun that had me cringing a bunch. There's some things that happen in this movie that you have to suspend your belief a little bit, but the good outweighs that negative. Now let's talk about the bad. So, like I said, all around the performance was good, except one for me. For most of this movie, David Risdall, who played Lars, the very on the nose and obvious creep of the movie, he just didn't work for me. He felt out of place with all the other actors. Like he was overacting a little bit, and his line delivery was laughable, but not in the proper way. He was supposed to be taken serious what he was saying, but it was making me laugh because I was like, this is it's not believable at all. It's just too much. He felt like he was supposed to be in a whole different kind of movie, something more tongue in cheek, and he really stuck out for me. As the movie progressed, I got used to it and understood that his character was there, and they kind of paired him up with somebody else, so it toned down a bit. But throughout, I was like, geez, I just need to see the other characters. You're killing me here. The movie does go through a lot of phases. It is a thriller, but after she finds the child, it becomes a bit of a mystery because she's trying to figure out who's the kidnapper, what information that she can get from these people. But if you really pay attention to the movie from the beginning, you could kind of say, that's the person that did it. It was very, very obvious, but luckily that part of the movie doesn't last too long, so it doesn't insult your intelligence. This movie tries to explore themes of like addiction, trauma, loss of family, and how that affects you, and it did all those things pretty well, but it doesn't tie it back in really well with the character motivations and also the kidnapping plot. It was there, but they didn't tie like in a neat bow. The most it did was, if you're from New York, people say that, drugs and crack gives people powers and strength that they shouldn't have, and they won't be knocked down. It kind of happens like that in this movie at a certain point where I kind of snickered, but it was a serious moment. I guess it kind of made sense. But overall, I thought that the script, if it was just a little tighter and a little more connected, has a little bit more connective tissue and more thought out, this movie could have been elevated to the next level. Let's talk about my verdict. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. Havana Lou Rose's performance as Darby is worth watching the movie, and the tense third act was pretty dope with the brutal violence that was there, and the intensity and the mystery and the coolness of the movie outweighs some of the outlandish parts and the lackluster script. So overall, I'll give this movie a C. Comment your thoughts down below about No Exit. Like the video if you like my review and let me know how I did. Subscribe to the channel to join the family. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified of more videos. And I hope everyone has a good day. Be well and watch more right now.